Yeah, man, real bomba clock and I set the volume 8. This is the music from the my niggas. Yeah, man. Oh, ribby damn, ribby damn. Hey, hey. La 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 la. Human attribute from black or red. Hey, hey, hey. Broken microphone, mystic lover sound, a dream of soul. Will my head alone, living in Zion but Babylon. Broken microphone, mystic lover sound, a dream of soul. Will my head alone, living in Zion but Babylon. Por soñar soñé que todo cambiaría, por pensar pensé, luchar a sangre fría sin perder la fe, viviendo el día a día, más con sentimiento que marcó mi sinfonía. Darle pan al que no puede comer, darle bendición al que sepa renacer. 3000 errores solemos cometer, pero solo un gran hombre lo sabrá reconocer. Y me di cuenta hoy de tantas cosas, algunas crudas, otras bastante hermosas. Solo más sabios, personas poderosas, no aquellos bastardos que destrozan nuestras prosas. Es la perdición, mala situación de manchar tu corazón por tu mala acción. Dame una razón para darte mi perdón. Siento que tu alma se consume como el humo de este blon. Derramo poesía, arte mensajero que reclamo cada día. Pretendo ser sincero, más comparto mi alegría con todo caballero que mantenga la presión cuando andamos bajo cero. Sentimientos perdidos con calma, malos actos mancharon tu alma. No pide perdón quien dispara el arma, no sabe que un ladrón se bate con el karma. Broken microphone, mystic love sound, a dream of soul. Real my head alone, living in Zion but Babylon. Broken microphone, mystic love sound, a dream of soul. Real my head alone, living in Zion but Babylon. Wanna ganja respect from volume 8. My niggas on volume 8, this is the other studio respect. Alright. Bad boy kills, criminal of soul and rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation. Below the time like this. Bad boy kills, criminal of soul and rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation. Below the time like this. Bad boy killers, criminal of soul and rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation. Oh. La 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 la. When I can just smoking from the studio of the on. And when I can just your nigga on the floor. When I live a sound. Oh them. Ah. Bye bye rhythm, bye bye sound indeed.
Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material and use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
Hey, pure nigga on a microphone, a studio of your own, gangsta song, Marina Komova. It's a champion general flow. Listen, my reggae music is lower. Climb the tower, feel the warrior eternal power. Marina Komova. It's a champion general flow. Listen, my reggae music is lower. Climb the tower, feel the warrior eternal power. Escucha a Dios si aún estás por este mundo. Voy a robarte tan solo 3 segundos. Quiero mandar tu mensaje muy profundo y pedirte disculpas por si me confundo. Soy un humano más que vaga en estos páramos, que se pregunta qué pasa si nos amáramos. Pero la guerra nos separa, así que páranos y únenos de nuevo, por favor, como quisiéramos. Ve al humano maltratar a su mujer, divisa al pueblo roto por su falta de poder. Sigo viendo al niño muriendo sin comer y al rico atragantarse tan solo por placer. Quedamos pocos mensajeros del honor, fieles servidores del humano con valor, nobles narradores de palabra con amor. Solo faltas tú para guiar nuestro interior. ¿Cómo va? It's a champion general flow. Listen, my reggae music is lower. Clean the chowa, feel the warrior eternal power. Mavera como va? It's a champion general flow. Listen, my reggae music is lower. Clean the chowa, feel the warrior eternal power. Sé que no es fácil nadar en estas aguas, ni mantener el rumbo en este sin razón. Sé que me quemo si camino en la fragua. Este es mi deber cuando recibí mi don. Podría hablar sobre coches y dinero, pero no quiero, por eso soy la voz del guero. Prefiero mantener mi arte mensajero, luchar junto al humilde para destruir el clero. Unos tienen tanto y otros quieren tan poco. Esta melodía me está volviendo loco. Pido a Kion que limpie lo que toco. Él destruye el muro en el que normalmente choco. La tierra muere y morirá callada. Creaste un suelo de arena malgastada. Nos diste ciencia y eso no te avala. Ella da respuestas, tú no dices nada. Sé que mi fe no va mal, pero aquí debajo todo sigue igual. Luchamos por vivir algo que es normal. Por eso lo divino jamás será mortal. Oh, my nigga, feel the rasta, you nigga, no my nigga. Hey, escuela, haciendo fresco lo que siento desde el alma, nego, lo siento. Lo sé, señor, quizás hable sin sentido, pero al malvado hay que darle su merecido. Mira al diablo en que me ha convertido, pidiéndole consejos a un desconocido.
Hope you guys can hear me. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Let's see who we got. It's probably just one person, which is more likely me, because I always monitor the thing. Yep, more likely me, man. So it's all good. I am a one-man team, family. It's all good. It's all good. Let's see what we got. Class is called Fake News, and I am talking about somebody in particular. Apparently, they felt like there was a necessity to do particular things, and you know what? I really pondered on this class for quite some time, man. Trying to figure out which way to go, which is the best way to approach this. Bible requires us to exercise wisdom, right? You know what I'm saying? Exercise wisdom, but I'm not looking for that. Oh, I will say this: that a lot of times we are in a position where, well, we put ourselves in a position where even we ourselves can be tempted to sin. Wisdom of Solomon 8:6. It says, "If prudence work, who of all that are is a more cunning workman than she?" This is wisdom, right? "And if a man love righteousness, her labors are virtuous, for she teacheth temperance and prudence, justice, fortitude, I'm sorry, which are such things as Ian can have nothing more profitable in their life." Let me see what's that word. Wisdom of Solomon 6. How come it's not listed correctly? Give me a second, fam. It's not listed well. Wisdom of Solomon 8:6 says, if prudence work, let me go ahead and go up to verse 5. If riches be a possession to be desired in this life, what is richer than wisdom?
that worketh all things. And if prudence work, who of all that are is a more cunning workman than she? Got you. What comment says that? What is it? Oh, verse 7. And if a man loveth or love righteousness, her labor are virtuous. For she teacheth temperance and prudence, justice and fortitude, which are such things as man can have nothing more profitable in their life. All praises, Fernando. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Like probably the first time, man, that I have a smooth intro where it's like no hiccups or nothing. So that's good. That's a good start. Anyhow, so as you can see, this is required of all of us, and especially when you get into these particular things about who said what and what was said, and here, that's or the third, right? Listen, family, I have a very different way of thinking, and I like to, in this position, obviously, with the Most High and in His mercy upon me, because I was close to being a homeless man. I was one sofa away. So I really, really humbly embrace the job that He's given me. And even though it's frustrating sometimes and I just want to give up the gloves, like Jeremiah says, I think I have that scripture in there. I have to still continue. And I got to continue to fight, with my own self as well. A lot of these people that are in these camps, man, most of them are conditioned to be a certain way, to speak a certain way, and to think a certain way. And all they're doing is just regurgitating what they hear and what they see. They have not thoroughly examined the cause. When you give somebody enough to follow without really able to hold on to, like a carrot in front of you, you're going to go in what this mindset is called of wishful thinking. Now, wishful thinkers are basically hypocritical because all they do is they base their life upon what that reflection will be for themselves. They will never go further enough to dissect even truth when it's right in front of their face. People have a misunderstanding of hypocrisy, but hypocrisy goes way further than your basic understanding. Now, let me show you this first. It's 6 minutes long. So it's by Jordan Peterson. And I think what he's saying is, I hope it doesn't go over your head. So you individuals from IUIC who felt the need to call me out indirectly when I know you're talking about me, hopefully this doesn't go over your head, okay? Because I know that with a show that you had, you keep it pretty basic and simple. Now, I will admit one thing, that maybe I triggered that teacher to maybe put some passion in his teaching, which he did a little better. I'll give you that. So, hey, I guess I did my job. All right. So here we go. Let's listen in. Let me be quiet.
Hi, Dr. Peterson. I've been wanting to ask you this for a while now since I started watching your lectures. After I started reading Nietzsche's Beyond Good and Evil, I came upon a paragraph in his chapter on scholars that really bothered me, and it actually bothers me to this day. He talked about this kind of person like they were just a mirror, like they stretched, he said, every part of their skin basically to allow every new piece of information that they took on, and that all they ever were was just an instrument. They were just a mirror and reflecting what they had learned, never actually having generated anything on their own. And it's bothered me because I feel like in a way it sort of like it's impacted my identity a lot, because I don't know, how are you supposed to create something, so.
Okay, well that's okay. That's a really good question. I mean, Nietzsche is often classed with the existentialists, right? And so one of the tenets of existentialism, there's two real tenets of existentialism. There's more, but obviously we're oversimplifying. But one is that life is a problem. It isn't because there's something wrong with you. It's that life is a problem. And so that's often contrasted with the Freudian view, which is that if you have a problem, it's because something went wrong during your development. The existentialist said, no, no, it's like life is a problem, make no mistake about it. And that the purpose of scholarship is in some sense to solve that problem. And so for Nietzsche, like he said, all truths are bloody truths to me. And what he meant by that was that if an idea didn't incarnate itself in you and transform your perceptions and your actions, then you were merely possessed by the idea. You were merely a spokesperson for the idea. Or you could say that the idea possessed you. You're a puppet for the idea. It's not you. It's the idea is in you and it has you. You haven't taken the idea and incorporated it with you and made it part of your life. And so there's a romanticism that's associated with that, right? That's the passionate scholar, the person for whom ideas are not merely, they're not merely what would you call abstracted representations that can be tossed about as if they're commodities. They're more like personalities. That might be another way of thinking about it. And so if those ideas are compelling, then you don't. Like one thing I learned a long time ago, and I think this is probably relevant. I know when I was a kid, I liked to argue, and I liked to win arguments or lose them, although I liked winning them a lot better. But I didn't really mind so much what the content of the argument was. You know, I could engage in it like a sparring match, and it was in some sense to establish dominance, right? To establish intellectual dominance. I quit doing that when I was in my mid-20s because I thought that that was too shallow an approach to the ideas. They're not commodities of that sort. They have tendrils that reach down into the living. That's the right way to think about it. And so Nietzsche's criticism of scholars, and he did this a lot, was that they were bloodless. You know, they were full of performative contradictions. That's another way of thinking about it. They'd say one thing and do another because their intellect was completely dissociated from their actions. And he thought that was a very bad idea. And I think that that's a good criticism. I think it is a bad idea. I also think it makes for an extraordinarily boring lecturer. You know, because you can tell if you're listening to someone whether the ideas that you're hearing are merely being passed through the person as if they're being memorized, say, or whether they're part of the dynamic core of the person. And if they're part of the dynamic core of the person, then they're almost always engaging and gripping. And so he wasn't a fan of bloodless scholars. And I think that's correct because one of the things that I see, it's not a good idea to have ideas possess you. Unless you know what the ideas are up to. And lots of people are possessed by ideas rather than possessing them. And what that means is they haven't taken the ideas and integrated them into their own being. They haven't, it's like an incarnation in a sense. They haven't incarnated the ideas in embodied form. And so they're incomplete. You know, Nietzsche also in Thus Spake Zarathustra, when Zarathustra comes down the mountain, he sees a bunch of people gathered around a famous individual, I think maybe a scholar, but it doesn't really matter. And when Zarathustra goes and looks at the person, all he sees is a little tiny midget with a gigantic ear. And so he's a hyper specialist, right? And so he has a pretty impressive ear, but he's only this big. And that was Nietzsche's imagistic commentary on the danger of hyper specialization and also on the danger of adulation for hyper specialization. And because he thought about it as a kind of deformity. Now, Nietzsche was a pretty harsh guy, but he did address the issue of the relationship between intellectual knowledge and action, because for Nietzsche, those things are not to be separated in some sense. So, yeah, so maybe, I don't know why maybe it bothered you like, it's hard to say why it bothered you. It might have bothered you because it sort of undermined the idea of scholar. But the other possibility, and this isn't an accusation because obviously I don't know anything about you, but it might also be that it struck a chord, you know, and that maybe you were doubtful or questioning how tightly associated your intellectual endeavor was with your actual character and your practice. So that's another possibility. I mean, that's a really good thing to think about because generally speaking, that integration is very much lacking. People are a lot smarter and fluid with their ideas than they are ethical and consistent and characterized by integrity.
All right, Shalom. Okay, so lots was said. All right. I want to explain what he's actually saying, but I'm gonna show you what he means right here. This is what it means in a nutshell. All right, watch.
Problem. And so for Nietzsche, like he said, all truths are bloody truths to me. And what he meant by that was that if an idea didn't incarnate itself in you and transform your perceptions and your actions, then you were merely possessed by the idea. You were merely a spokesperson for the idea. Or
You see, what he's saying is if you haven't intellectually dissected this idea, then you're just trapped in the idea, regurgitating what the idea seems to be without really knowing what you're teaching or what you're specializing in or who you're speaking to or what you want to deny.
what the ideas are up to. And lots of people are possessed by ideas rather than possessing them. And what that means.
See, a lot of people are possessed by ideas rather than possessing the idea. Now, how do you possess the idea? Well, you actually have to really understand what it is that what information is coming at you. And if you really know what you're teaching, have you paid attention? For example, you Christians, Christmas Christians, have you really paid attention to what you believe in? And you have Black Hebrew converts, have you paid attention into what you're teaching? And you so-called Hispanics, have you paid attention to what they're teaching you? Because I don't think you do. Because you contradict, I see here people contradicting themselves in the middle of their recent statement. So I'm going to show y'all something real quick. Because apparently this whole, Black Hebrew convertism is nothing more and nothing less than something imaginary for us that we're going to see that, by the way, something imaginary for us that that we made up. Okay, you Hispanics, you Native Indians, all of y'all, you made up the whole concept of colorism. Okay, it's not it's not them. They're not saying that. They're saying that you guys don't understand that it's not about color. This is IUIC, and I'm going to show you. So before I do, I wonder what they're going to say about this because I'm going to show it too. All right? It's not about color. Okay.
For so long and living this lie of being Jews. They talking about, hey, Kyrie, you got to come and speak to the Jewish Brooklyn leaders. Where are they? Come speak to us. The truth of this Bible was given unto you, Israelites. You got a problem with us being Israelites? Come talk to us. We're going to bring you this Bible, thus saith the Lord. This gospel is spreading. You cannot contain the truth of the Bible. There's many things that's evil going on in the land of Israel, but there's no media coverage for that. But when black people do crime in the hood, it's all on the news. It's all on the news. know the news? The Jewish media, like Kanye West said. Now let's see what color they are. They are black. Said. Now let's see what color they are. They are black. What color are the Jews? They are black. If you're black, you are Shemitic. So Kyrie Irving was correct. Of 6 things. Hey, guess what, Kyrie? You gotta come over here and make my little kid lunch. Hey, Kyrie, guess what? Can we ride you like a horse? Then you can get your job back. No, we're not doing it. Y'all gonna understand, y'all gonna learn that we the Israelites, we're not bending or breaking for nobody.
So you can see, you can hear, they are black. They are black. They are black. IUIC, GMS, IUIC, Sakari. Black is not a color, man. Black is not a color. It's a shade. Education tip number 1. So now, it's not about color though, fam. It's us. We're the ones thinking that it's about color.
That the blacks who were colonized and enslaved are indeed the 12 tribes of Israel, according to the biblical text. There's no biblical text that can prove the Jews in the Bible were Caucasians or are Caucasians. There's no biblical text that says or proves Jesus Christ is a Caucasian or white man. All the biblical texts prove that Christ is black, Moses was black, the Apostle Paul was black, and the 12 tribes of Israel, 12 tribes of Israel, 12 tribes of Israel are black, are black, are black, are black.
Okay? So they say we are focusing on color. Hey, shalom, Scattered. Appreciate you here, bro. Fernando, I think I said shalom. I think I did, bro. Let me see what you got. It was white Americans that came up with the concept of color, and black Americans just picked up on it. Basically adopting the same ideology of white nationalists of KKK. Yeah, man. Oh, they should call it Bay Bay Bay. You know what I mean? Black, black, black. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm trying to be funny. I'm not a comedian. Let's go to Genesis chapter 18, verse 17. Let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. So apparently, you know, they're saying that we're seeing color, but then they're at the same time saying black, black, blackity, black, black. Okay. Well, let's see. Genesis 18. Why am I going here? I'm going to show you why. And the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do? Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him that he will command his children. Let me read that again. For I know him that he will command his children and his household after him. And they shall keep the way of the Lord to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he had spoken of him. The important part is, for I know him, meaning Abraham, our father, that he will command his children and his household after him. I'm going to tell you something, guys. I'm going to tell you something straight up. I've met more brothers outside of those schools that are keeping the law sincerely and that are actually teaching their children to keep the laws of God than those schools that are over here criticizing us, saying it's not about color, fam. For real. For real. I mean, I'm telling you, it is not a joke. We talk about hypocrisy and that you're out the spirit. And if you leave these schools, you don't know, you're gonna bug out. I mean, the proof is in the action and in our experience, family. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know. What you got, Fernando? Well, we Christians have had the idea without reading between the lines, message propaganda. We trapped in the main idea. I thought what you mean Christians, you mean like the followers of Christ. Okay, like I know Fernando. He's not a Christian. It's a white, black, blackity, black. Same idea, yeah, man. It's the same ideology. It's like yo, black is good. Yo, white is good. Purity, blue eyes, blonde hair. Well, that's not enough yet. We're just touching the surface because Here, I'm just saying that we shall command our children the laws of God, and then their children, and our children will command our children. Why am I bringing this up? Because when I was in there, right, I was afraid to leave. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I have a family, I have children. I want them to, keep the laws of God. Lord willing, they continue in the walk and they make it. So I obviously bear the spirit of Abraham. It's not uncommon, family. It's just common sense, all right? Just that simple. It's not like, ooh, open the sky. No, it's just very simple. I found out that I'm an Israelite. The spirit bears witness. I had enough sense and logic to really dissect and then put myself through the rigorousness of really determining, am I really about this, or am I just, a so-called Hebrew, with, I don't know, as a mask? No, fam, I didn't do that because I wanted my family to then hear the word and keep the commandments of God. And I fought hard for me and my wife and my children to stay together so then we can then grow. 5 years in now, we're all, for the most part, keeping the laws of God. And I mean all of us, because our oldest son, okay, he's sick. So I don't want to say all of us, and he's doing his best. All right. I don't know if that counts or not, but I'm just being legitimate here. But not one time, well, actually, rarely did I meet anybody in those schools that, supposedly they got the Holy Spirit, where they were actually raising their teenage children right. It was not common, fam. Now, I know, Fernando, I know you're not a Christian, man. I know you are. That's why I told you. Jesus. I know, bro. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him. And they shall keep the way of the Lord to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he had spoken of him. Meaning that we'll be in the same vein, family. All right. Why am I saying that? Because honestly, some of these schools, man, they'll steal your spirit. They will steal your spirit. They will steal your spirit, family. And you'll get confused, and you're like, what the, like, why, Father? Why? Tell me why. Why did you do this? Look at Isaiah. I'm not lying. Isaiah's the same thing. It says here, Isaiah 27, "Oh Lord, thou hast deceived me. I was deceived. Thou art stronger than I, and hast prevailed. I am in derision daily. Everyone mocketh me." When I started telling them, hey, bro, I'm seeing these things. No, you're tripping. You're just a racist. Yeah, racist. Nah, you don't like black people. Oh, IUIC really made you bug out, man. Now you're really bugged out. Even though they have no clue what my family dynamics is like. "Oh Lord, thou hast deceived me, and I was deceived, and thou art stronger than I, and hast prevailed, and I'm in derision daily. Everyone mocketh me." And you know what? I felt like that when I left. It's like, why? Why'd you put me in there? I went in there sober. I came out an alcoholic again. And outside of that, I was all praise to the Most High that he had mercy on me and got me sober again. So you go figure. I look at proof. I look at actions. I look at results, not wishful thinking. Because in those rooms, in this room, you got a lot of people with that vice, and they don't care for you. So when I'm like, wait a minute, why did you put me in those rooms? What does this mean? For since I spake, I cried out. I cried violence and spoil. Like, listen, I'm seeing these different things, man. Like, I'm not trying to hate on anybody, bro, but it's like, I'm seeing, like, look, Deuteronomy 28, 49. Look, they own slaves. Look. Didn't matter, man. It didn't matter. For since I spake, I cried out. I cried violence and spoiling, because the word of the Lord was made of reproach unto me, and a derision daily. Family, I was just like, man, I don't know why I did this. I almost burned the Bible. Damn it. It was that crazy. Then said I will not make mention of him, nor speak any more in his name. I felt like that, family. But his word was in my heart, meaning my mind, as a burning fire, shut up in my bones. And I was weary for forbearing, and I could not stay. So as much as I might have not wanted to, family, I have no choice. I'm not going against anybody to cause hate or division. You see, I've done the homework in regards to finding out for myself what, who, and are we really the same people? I didn't go by what the masters tell me. I am not regurgitating what I'm being told, because in that room and in that school, you cannot go outside of their blueprint. So that just means that you're only regurgitating what you're seeing. Because I'm going to show y'all, family, what they really teach. And let's see if these so-called Hispanics that are in these rooms, if that's really, really what they're teaching, and do they really, really understand what is being taught to them? Don't go by titles, silly dogs. Just because you're an officer or a soldier, don't assume that that gives you more wisdom or understanding than even the simplest ones. Because remember, the scriptures say, him that have little wisdom but keep the laws of God is much more than him that have so much and can't even keep one. I butchered it, but that's a fact. Raise your family, teach your children, because if they still hate you, then guess what? Don't go for atonement. If you can't raise your children right, don't sit here and tell people how to raise their children in the streets. If you can't rule your own household and your wife is literally ruling you and you're hiding it, don't go and tell people in the street. There's 1 Corinthians 11:3. Don't say have faith in the Most High or in Christ, but yet go into these anonymous rooms because you don't have faith in the Most High. Because you want to stay sober? I thought if you're the head of the household, you would have those things in control. Why are you out in the street? Why do we go out in the street and teach without having our own, like I remember in Spanish, me decía mi mamá, fíjate el tronco de tu ojo primero antes que vayas a criticar a los demás. And see, this is a thing, family, that it is so easy to sit in front of a camera and have a Bible in front of you. Give me Deuteronomy. Bring it out. Yeah. That's easy. That's easy. When you have other people that are pushing you and making you think that what you're doing is, is right? Yeah, sure. That's easy. What about when you're alone? Hebrews 5:12. Watch what it says. I'm going to show y'all something real quick. What about when you're alone, man? Like us. You think I'm the only one? There's several of us that are out here like, what the hell? What the hell? What does all this mean? I was also in derision because when I left this school, man, it was like so many doctrines, fam. One guy believed one thing, another guy believed another thing, another guy believed another thing. And all so-called Northern Kingdom is just arguing with each other about who's right and who's right and who's right. Everybody want to be a chief, y'all. So then I'm like, I'm not why did you even wake me up, Father? Like I literally, I obviously, man, I repented from even talking like that. But I didn't understand. You take me to these rooms. I come out more destroyed than I did in there. I came out more destroyed than when I went in. And at first I'm like, well, maybe I'm not a Hebrew, man. You know what I'm saying? And I almost burned the Bible. You see, people, when you are told that we're family, you open up your household your mind, your secrets. And then when you disagree, we're enemies now. Why? Because the scriptures say, well, at least you guys assume that when somebody, any school, all the schools say the same thing. You leave the school, that you leave the spirit, and you go in sin. So if you're in sin, you're the enemy. You know what I'm saying? So why fake the funk? Hebrews 5:12, watch what it reads. For when the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need one to teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. So, fam, what I did, I just went back to the basics, man. Eventually, I just, like the scriptures in Jeremiah said, I had no choice. Oh, so what did I do? I just went back to the basics, family. I stuck to what I knew, which was basically studying the milk, and I went back and I watched you, IUIC. I did. I watched y'all for a few months because that's all I knew. And even in this process, man, it's like they got worse and worse and more about imagery, which is exactly I was talking about, fam. You got stuff like this. What the hell is this, man? What is that, family? You tell me. What the hell is that? He's got a garment, green and gold. Green and gold. You guys know where that's at, right? Daniel. He's sitting on the earth in front of the moon, and he's got the two worlds in his hands. Life is short, but immortality forever. Look at this. Ignorance. Silly dove. Look at his face. Look at that, fam. Bishop Nathaniel. Look at this. Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome, Nate. I came up with those designs. Ask IUIC. Ask him about me. Jesus Christ. But let him, look, John 1:14. But let him that glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am the Lord, which exercise loving kindness and judgment and righteousness in the earth, for in these things I delight, say the Lord. Wow. This is what they teach, fam. Okay. I'm not saying that's what they teach. So I had to go back to the basics because, honestly, out here on your own with nobody else around you and no one to talk to about scriptures or no one really to be in one mind. You know how scary that shit is? Sorry for cussing, but I have to say that way. Because the oracles of God are like the depthness of the seas. So I just became need of milk, man. Became need of milk. That's all I could do, fam. So then eventually, the Most High strengthened me. All praises. And I know that some of y'all have experienced what I have experienced. I'm not the only one. Having hope, like losing hope, like what the hell, man? What am I going to do now? Who to believe? Who to listen to? One guy arguing with another guy, and one guy believes one thing, and one dude is an Old Testament keeper, another guy a New Testament keeper. Some believe in both, some don't believe. Some believe in some freaking Bible, the Hoppy or whatever the hell that is. And you got others bugging out saying Inky and Ely and oh God, man. I was like, oh my dear God, what did I do? I was in derision, family. But you know, as I said before, man, I kept praying for just please do not, no, como decimos en español, no me desampares, por favor. Por favor, no me desampares, Señor. Like I really didn't. I'm not trying to go against anybody, man. I'm just seeing the scriptures different. 2 Timothy 3:14, and I know a lot of you guys felt the same way that came out of these schools. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and has been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. So I remembered saying, wait a minute, before anything, I learned all of this from the Most High, first of all, because he knew me from the get-go when I was in the belly. And one thing that I was sure of, fam, is I studied the milk to the T. They have like 200 precepts, man. I memorized all of them, and I could find them quick. All praises to the Most High that he allowed me to just stay in the milk for 3.5 years. I was in the milk nonstop. Yeah, I'd read other things, but I was really just keeping it as basic as possible. Do they know that? I don't know if they knew that, but I proved it in my actions because I knew my scriptures, at least to that extent. So I remembered, who did I learn this from? The Most High. And that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith, which is in Christ Jesus. So at that moment, I started really saying, you know what? He knew me from the get-go. He formed me in the belly. Why am I scared to be out here? Let me dissect these scriptures again. Let me look at them with a new eye, and let me use what I was taught. So my spirit strengthened within me again. Because I was sincere. I was broken. I'm like, yo, man, I don't want to sin. But this walk is confusing, Father. What's going on? And I wasn't gonna go to some other camp. For what? It was worse. You got one that is Passover, Assover, another one that says you could deal with prostitutes, another one that dresses like bikers. And they said John the Baptist is, I don't know, an enemy. And that our penises are more important than every other nationalities. You know, I mean, like, really, bro? That's what my choices. I'd rather be alone. I don't know if y'all can agree or disagree, quite frankly. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some of y'all are like, dude, this guy's just full of shh, and, move on. Well, move on, man. Move on. I'm just sharing with y'all what exactly, I experienced. And I know that a lot of y'all have gone through that because I've actually talked to some of y'all that have gone through some issues. And some of y'all have even told me yourselves that you're happy to talk to somebody that actually can talk about scripture because you don't really have that choice. And see, that's what they're missing. You say you're about your people, but you're not. I have to agree with what you say. I have to be forced into doing what you do. I got to let go of my ways, my culture, my heritage. Yeah, I got to be black. I'm going to prove it. Jeremiah 17:5, thus say the Lord, cursed be the man that trusted in man. I'm not going to trust no man. And make it his flesh arms, and whose heart departed from the Lord. So clearly here we see, trust not man. So all praises to the Most High that I was humble enough and broken enough to say, look, Father, I need your help because I'm going to lose my, oh my God, I was about to say it. They think it's a joke. You don't got my shirt. Can't talk to you. That's what they told me, fam. I can't deal with you. That's what they told me. Maybe one of you didn't, but but the rest of y'all did that to me. Why? Because I disagreed on the moon. You guys realize I was about to die? COVID? 3 months done. And now we're seeing what COVID was doing is killing people. Y'all didn't believe me. You guys thought I was full of it. And you got mad at me because I didn't give alms? It's mandatory, huh? Why don't you tell people that? Stop trying to go to churches and tell them, oh, don't ask for alms or tithes. You guys do the same. Hypocrites. Hypocrites. That's hypocritical. Thus say the Lord, cursed be the man that trusted in man. So men are usually hypocritical. Go to James. James 3. It reads, for when I'll go 13. Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? That's a great question. Who? Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness and wisdom. Now, I know that some of y'all have gotten to know me, and I think my actions speak for themselves. But if ye have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not and lie not against the truth. Fam, all I ever wanted was just sincere brotherhood. Because when I walked in their rooms, it wasn't sincere. I was destroyed because they could care less what I was dealing with. Because I was told that I need to deal with it. Me, myself. No one else. Even though I reached out, and there's brothers that I know did the same thing. Reached out. No help. So this isn't about bitter envy or strife. It says, glory not. I don't glory in that, or lie not against the truth. No, this wisdom descended not from above, but it's earthly, sensual, and devilish. And I understand that. However, for where envy and strife is, there is confusion in every evil work. And I know that most of you guys don't even get along with each other. I know that in this video, in this very table, there's a couple of them, and you guys figure it out. You don't like each other, and you told me yourself. But you sit there and act like your brethren. Yet I heard it in my own ears of criticism. Who are we now? So am I envying and strife? That's confusion. And that's evil work. But the wisdom that is from above is pure and peaceable and gentle, meaning fair, equitable, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy, good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. Easy to be entreated. If we're all the same people, why are you saying then that we're not the same people because I disagree with one or two things? You love your enemy more than your own gente, and you tell them the same thing, and you're doing it right in front of our face. I mean, I'm gonna tell you straight up, man. Hey, you still there, Fernando? Or did I lose you? Usually I do. Apparently, the algorithm is not hitting you guys anymore. YouTube is mad at me. I said you can't post messages in this channel. You got the not a Christian. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Anyhow, let's watch this. Here it goes. Enough talk. Enough talk. Give me a second. Where are you? We're gonna go to number 56. Let's listen in. You guys decide. Let's find out. And see if I'm wrong. We're going to see if you guys are really teaching or believe in what you're teaching. Because you're teaching us and y'all are being very hypocritical. So, let's listen in.
Esto lo explica muy fácil, muy claro para entender. No está complicado de entender esto, mira.
Apocalipsis, capítulo 22, versículo 14. Bienaventurados los que lavan sus ropas, para tener derecho al árbol de la vida y para entrar por las puertas en la ciudad.
Es Apocalipsis 22 y el verso 14. Ahora dame el 15.
Versículo 15. Mas los perros estarán fuera.
Fíjense, estos empiezan el 14 otra vez.
Versículo 14. Bienaventurados los que
Bienaventurados los que aguardan los mandamientos de Dios. Y ese mandamiento, uno de ellos es no mentir, no odiar, no salirse uno del espíritu. Bienaventurado el que no enseña al cobre. Bienaventurado. ¿Por qué? Porque estás arrepentido. Ya te dice que cuide tu boca, que no te salgas del espíritu. Lo puedes perder. ¿Lee?
para tener derecho al árbol de la vida
Tener derecho a la salvación. ¿Lee?
y para entrar por las puertas en la ciudad.
Para entrar al reino. Para entrar al reino. Uno piensa que no va a pasar, esto no va a suceder. Pero créanlo, está escrito en la Biblia. El fin de todo esto y el reino de Dios existe. Y es el que viene. Ya cuando te des cuenta que de veras era verdad esto, va a ser demasiado tarde.
Lo que quiere decir el Señor es que Jesucristo es negro. That's what he's saying, family. And he's black. Yeah, I know you guys teach that. But you're saying it's not about color. Okay.
No va a haber ni un pero que te salve. Ni un perdón.
Oyeron ni siquiera un pedo. Oh, I'm sorry. Pero que te salve. Okay, guys, you see, you have to embrace the fact that he's black. But not just that. I'm going to show you. What else?
Que te salve. Ni un amparo. Nada te va a salvar.
Sí, es oficial. Porque mire, están haciendo ahorita el comentario.
Hey, listen, look. See this guy right here. Yeah, his name's Ezekiel. Okay, Ezekiel.
Aquí vienen aquí haciendo comentarios.
Look, this is not about color, but you have to accept that you will be black, but not about color. So then he goes and says,
Dale luz, despiértalos de la ignorancia.
ignorancia means like you don't know. Okay. So I do know. I do know that you don't know what you're teaching. That I do know. Well, let's go.
¿Verdad? Allí en los videos sobre los empiezan a despreciar porque están morenitos y empiezan a llamar indios, ¿no?
Sí,
Pero en los comentarios ahorita ahí en YouTube están comentando que ¿por qué está usted enseñando si usted no está moreno?
Well, I don't know who said that. Pero pues, you know, Let's continue because that's not. I didn't. I don't know what they're talking about in that part. Let's go.
Entonces es lo mismo. Nuestra gente no entiende que esto no es el color, tiene que ver
Wait,
con
wait, what? Did you hear that? It's not about color.
nuestra nacionalidad, que somos israelitas por nuestros padres,
Sí.
que somos israelitas por nuestra nación, ¿verdad? Quería dar un precepto,
Sí, sí.
¿verdad? Porque va con lo que estaba diciendo ahorita de Apocalipsis. Mira,
Hey,
dame
fam, I'm
primero-
gonna tell you something. Maybe this guy's upset. So, hey, you know what? You should thank me, bro, because you did a little better today. You know, you're actually in the class, not putting people to sleep. But let's go.
Juan, capítulo 3, versículo 15.
Y esto es
Porque-
para que está muy bien. Participen, hagan sus comentarios para darles a través de la Biblia el entendimiento, para que lo entiendan. Y desen de topes,
There's no chat going on, fam. They're just making that up. I don't know what they're talking about.
preguntando y queriendo descifrar esto, porque de eso se trata, el arrepentimiento, de entenderlo.
Porque nosotros no estamos aquí para discutir
Ay, ay, ay,
tanto el color de nuestra gente, ya que nuestra gente se mezcló, ¿verdad?
Ya ven, ya ven, ya ven. Ok, hay que hablar muy bien. Te voy a hablar español, güey, porque obviamente no entiendes tú la palabra. A ver, hermanos, francamente, ¿de qué están hablando? ¿Qué no siempre están diciendo de que son negros, 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 negros? ¿Qué no están enseñando de que Jesucristo es negro? Dios es negro. Tú eras negro. Todo se trata de ser negro. Videos de negros. Videos de música de negros. Ropa de negros. Profetas negros. Moisés es negro. Jesucristo es negro. Dios es negro. Las 12 tribus es negra. ¿De qué están hablando, por favor? Va, ahí te va, güey.
A ver, que alguien me explique.
¿Quieres hablar francamente? Hay que hablar francamente, ¿ok? No hay que ser ignorantes, por favor. No hay que ser niños. Te voy a enseñar muy claramente para que ya vean, porque mira, ya estoy 1 hora en la clase y iba a hacer otras cosas, pero les voy a enseñar algo. Y lo voy a hacer en español, ¿ok? Para que vean, hermanos, para que vean la estupidez, la tontería de gente que es una bola de hipócritas, para que vean muy bien lo que están enseñando, ¿eh? Vamos muy claro a esto y ya lo voy a terminar, para que ya se callen, como decimos cuando es un niño malcriado, ya que se callen el hocico y dicen, no te salgas del espíritu. Oh, really, bro? Come on, man. Just because I'm speaking this way, that's not out the spirit. Just because you can't speak like a man, that's not my fault, okay? Apocalipsis 1:14 dice, y su cabeza y sus cabellos eran blancos como la lana blanca, como nieve. Ya ves, hermano, ese es un moreno y tiene tiene el afro. Tiene el afro, hermano, ¿ya ves? Y yo como tonto, ay, pues ya usted sabe, señor. Como la nieve, y sus ojos como llama de fuego, y sus pies semejantes al latón fino, ardiente como en un humo. ¿Ya ves, hermano? Tiene la piel negra, hermano. Pues usted ya sabe, señor. ¿Verdad? ¿O no? Así nos quieren de tontos. Claro que sí. Oh, sí es cierto, hermano. Es un Jesucristo negro y las patas negras. Ok, perfecto. So vamos ahí. Vamos a ir con tu cuento. Vamos a ir con tu cuento, güey. Para que veamos muy bien. Como decimos en español. No, mejor no digo eso, porque si no te vas a insultar. Porque te insultas que yo te diga tonto y no te insultas cuando te dicen silly dove. Y es lo mismo, tonto. Dice aquí, Primera de Corintios 15:50. Es más, te la voy a dar. No, hay que leer la 50. Primero entendemos muy bien, hermanos y hermanas, que Jesucristo en los ojos de ellos es negro, pelo chino, que como que hasta el sol ni fue suficiente para quemarlo. Tuvo que estar en un horno. ¿Ok? Dice, empero digo, hermanos, que la carne y la sangre no pueden heredar el reino de Dios, ni la corrupción hereda la incorrupción. ¿Ok? Ni la corrupción. Hold on a second. Let me go zip. Yep. Ni la corrupción incorrupción, ¿verdad? Vamos a eso. Y luego dice, he aquí, os digo un misterio. ¿Cuál misterio? A ver. Todos ciertamente nos dormiremos, mas todos seremos transformados. Oh my God, hermano, nos vamos a transformar. Uno como, pues usted ya sabe, Señor, como tonto. Estamos pensando que vamos a convertirnos en unos angelitos volando en el espacio. Así de blanquitos, ¿eh? Así de blanquitos, así como los vemos en la tele. He aquí, os digo un misterio. Fernando, tú me conoces, hermano, man. Para mí esto es chistoso, bro. Tú ya sabes en qué vena voy, ¿eh? Dice, todos ciertamente nos dormiremos, mas todos seremos transformados. En un momento, en un abrir de ojo, al final, a la final trompeta, porque será tocada la trompeta y los muertos serán levantados sin corrupción y nosotros seremos transformados. Ah, wow, hermano, ¿cómo la ves, hermano? Fernando, nos van a transformar en angelitos volando en el espíritu. Ay, ¿cómo la ves, hermano? ¿Cómo la ves? Nos vamos a transformar en ángeles voladores. Dice versículo 54, y cuando este incorruptible fuera vestido de incorrupción, discúlpeme, y cuando esto corruptible fuera vestido de incorrupción y este mortal fuera vestido de inmortalidad, entonces se afectuará la palabra que está escrita, sorbida es la muerte con victoria. Obviamente decimos, pues vamos a ser ángeles, yo voy a ir al reino de Dios y ya no voy a estar en este cuerpo, ya no voy a estar viejito. Yo cuando me veo en el espejo me digo, ay, posiblemente me quede así de guapito, ¿no? Un poquito arrugado, pero pues, ay, que me dé más pelos, Señor, deme pelos porque estoy bien calvo. Pero no, eso no es el caso, hermanos. ¿Cómo que no? ¿Cómo que no? Si aquí dice, y nosotros seremos transformados en el versículo 52. Pero ¿por qué no preguntas en qué te vas a transformar? ¿Cómo que en qué me vas a transformar? Pues en un ángel, tonto. A ver si es cierto. A ver si es cierto. Y disculpen, hermanos, que estoy hablando de este modo, pero obviamente cuando tienes que hablarle a un niño o niña, o sea, cuando tienes que educar a tus bebecitos, tienes que hablarles con un tipo de entusiasmo y ¿cómo dice este vato? A ver, ahí te va. Espérate. ¿Dónde está? Oye. ¿Dónde está? A ver,
Estimado
No, ese no. No, ese no, porque si no, se van a agüitar. A ver, espérame. ¿Dónde estás? Ahí te va. Así, o sea, como un poquito de sábado. Ahí va.
La calma y el sosiego. La calma y el sosiego. ¡Ay, que la chica! ¡Sosiego!
O sea, calmados, con palabras bonitas. Ahí les va, ¿eh? Ya sabemos que el Jesucristo de ellos es negro. Pues usted ya sabe, Señor, con pelo chino como ellos, ¿ok? Y luego en 1 Corintios dice 15:52 que vamos a convertirnos en voladores. Oh my God, qué chido, ¿no? No, hermano. Espérale, paisita. Espérale. Filipenses, me hace que es así. 3:21 dice, el cual transformará el cuerpo de nuestra vejeza para ser semejantes al cuerpo de su gloria. Wait, what? You see, I read it fast for a purpose. So let's go back. Okay, let's go back. 1 Corintios 15:52 dice, en un momento, en un abrir de ojo. Ahora les voy a decir algo, hermanos y hermanas. Ellos dicen que no es de color, ¿verdad? Pero ¿cómo le están criticando al tal güero? Que es rojo, que es una bestia, que es un animal, que es una persona corrupta. Y luego ellos dicen que nosotros nos mezclamos con ellos. Entonces, ¿qué quiere decir? Que somos prácticamente ellos, ¿verdad? Ok. Y luego dice, estamos corruptos porque mezclamos la semilla. Es lo que ellos nos dicen. So, ahora escúchame bien, en un momento, en un abrir de ojo, al final, a la final trompeta, porque será tocada la trompeta y los muertos serán levantados sin corrupción. Ahorita tú, tal mexicano, que te pareces a mí, con un fregado nopalote en tu frente, ¿ok? Al que si ven en un carro y te ven con una cachucha y te ven una escoba y te ven con una troquita, ¿ok? Y con una máquina como para cortar pasto, te van a parar y te van a pedir la green card, my friends, ¿ok? So, ese cuerpo que tú tienes, chaparrito, gordito, que le gusta comer tortillas y frijoles, güey, ese cuerpo está corrupto porque no tienes el cuerpo de los negros. Es lo que están enseñando. ¿Sabes por qué? Sin corrupción y nosotros seremos transformados. ¿Transformados en qué? Pues ya sabemos que ellos dicen que Jesucristo es negro, ¿verdad? Ok. So, seremos transformados en esto, hermanos. El cual transformará el cuerpo de nuestra vejeza, tu paisa, chaparro, gordo, feo, pelo amarillo, de lo peor comparado a ellos, como ellos dicen, para ser semejante al cuerpo de su gloria. What? Wait, let me read that again. El cual transformará el cuerpo de nuestra vejeza. ¿Okay? Para ser semejante al cuerpo de su gloria. Hermanos, ¿cuál es el cuerpo de su gloria? Primero de Revelación, Apocalipsis 1:14. Y su cabeza y sus cabellos eran blancos como blanca lana. Así vas a estar tú, hermano. You're going to have an afro, buddy. Como la nieve. White too. Y sus pies semejantes al latón fino, ardientes como un horno. So, hermanos, cuando regrese el Mesías negro, tú vas a convertirte en un hombre negro y vas a volar en el cielo. Es lo que ellos están enseñando. Ahora, te voy a decir algo. Esta línea de tontitos, sí, así les voy a decir, ¿ok? Ustedes ni siquiera saben de que eso les están enseñando. O, ¿por qué no les enseñan ustedes a los hermanos y hermanas que eso les están enseñando? Porque dicen que no es de color.
Y queriendo descifrar esto, que
que somos israelitas.
Ahí va.
Tiene que estar,
sí,
pero en los comentarios ahorita ahí en YouTube están comentando que por qué está usted enseñando si usted no está moreno. Entonces es lo mismo.
Hermanos, ¿saben qué? Yo no sé quién dijo eso. Definitivamente yo no dije eso. Entonces, si ellos están mencionando... Bueno, a que se quiera adelante, por favor.
Nuestra gente no entiende que esto no es el color. Entonces es lo mismo. Nuestra gente no entiende que esto no es el color. Están comentando que mismo. Nuestra gente no entiende que esto no es el color. Tiene que ver con nuestra nacionalidad.
Hermanos, no se trata de color. Voy a esperar que me respondan. Porque voy a ir al baño también, ¿eh? No crean que no. Pero voy a esperar a que me respondan. Y les voy a poner una musiquita mientras. Porque la verdad, yo no, solamente que yo le estoy viendo mal. Y pues soy un idiota. Y no entiendo lo que hago. No sé la Biblia. I mean, if that's what it is, right? If that's what it is, then that's what it is. No, for real though, fam. I mean, if you guys want to answer, please answer, because I'm going to use the bathroom. I'll be back.
que somos
Whoa,
israelitas.
whoa, 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 whoa. All right. All right, fam. Sorry. Thank you for appreciating you. Are they reading the Timothy script? No, they're reading. Here, they're going to see it right now. Hold up.
Por nuestros padres,
Sí.
que somos israelitas por nuestra nación, ¿verdad? Quería dar un precepto,
Sí, sí.
¿verdad? Porque va contra lo que estaba diciendo ahorita de Apocalipsis. Mira, dame
Ni ellos mismos se la creen. En serio, Chilo, de Son of Battle, no se la creen porque, mira, te pones a pensar y está de que no estamos enseñando, esto no se trata de color, pero Jesús es negro, Dios es negro, los profetas son negros, Moisés es negro y luego puras clases de puro negro, 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 negro. Es más, mira, les voy a decir una cosa, para que vean. Una vez este hermano hicieron una gathering para Passover y pues no sé de dónde se les ocurrió de quebrar una piñata. ¿Ok? Quebraron una piñata en Passover. O no sé si era Tabernacle o Passover, uno de esos High Holy Days, right? Entonces la escuela los ve y los regañan y sabe qué tanto, ¿no? Que nada, que esas cosas paganes. Ok. Pero el moreno negro, lo que sea como lo llames, hace sus tradiciones africanas que no ni siquiera es de la Biblia y eso está bien. Por favor. I mean, come on. So, fíjense lo que dice, para que vean. Yo no estoy mintiendo. O sea, si ellos dicen que no es de color, entonces, ¿por qué todo se trata de color? I mean, mira, let's continue. I'll shut up now.
1 Juan, capítulo 3, versículo 15.
You got that, Anthony? Marcus, es primera de Juan.
Y esto es para que está muy bien. Participen, hagan sus comentarios para darles a través de la Biblia el entendimiento, para que lo entiendan. Y desen de topes preguntando y queriendo descifrar esto.
Hey, hermano, y Fernando, ya escuchaste, hermano. Nos van a dar entendimiento para que entiendan. ¿Ok? Nomás te estoy avisando, porque no entiendes.
Porque de eso se trata, el arrepentimiento, de entenderlo.
Porque nosotros no estamos aquí para discutir tanto el color de nuestra gente, ya que nuestra gente se mezcló, ¿verdad? Así como estamos mirando en esos videos, la discriminación, ¿verdad? Esto es nacionalidad. Dame eso.
1 Juan, capítulo 3, versículo 15. Todo aquel que aborrece a su hermano.
Todo aquel que empieza a llamar indio, o que no porque tú eres más clarito que los morenos,
es homicida.
Estás aborreciendo, estás odiando a tu propia gente. Y la Biblia te llama ¿cómo?
Es homicida.
Hermano, tienes que arrepentirte, porque si no, tú no vas a entrar en el reino. La escritura dice que si tú odias a tu hermano, tú no vas a entrar en el reino. ¿Es todo?
Y sabes que ningún homicida tiene vida eterna, permanente en él.
¿Ves? No vas a entrar en el reino si tienes odio a tu hermano porque es más clarito que tú, porque es más oscuro que tú. No seas como los demás. Nosotros estamos enseñando a guardar los mandamientos, la fe en Cristo. Somos israelitas.
Y es un punto que dejas, un punto tú ahí dejas muy, es muy cierto. La confusión que nuestra gente ve, eso es lo que crea la confusión. Por eso hay que explicarlo.
Pues me confundiste con lo que acabaste de decir. Ahí, hermanos, discúlpenme, la verdad es que, ay, Dios mío, me estoy rascando la cabeza. Mejor me callo, hay que seguir adelante.
Hay que explicarlo. Como dice nuestro padre que nosotros íbamos a hacer una torta no volteada, como un hot cake.
¿Ya oyeron, bola de tortas? No estén volteadas. Ay, Dios mío. Ahorita van a ver, dicen que somos una torta no volteada. Pero mira, se ponen a pensar, por favor, pónganse a pensar, hermanos. cuando tú haces una, cake batter, ¿de qué color es? Es negro. Cuando mezclas tú, o sea, haces agarras el cake powder, leche blanca, porque leche no es negra, azúcar, whatever, huevos. Lo mezclas. Ya, ¿verdad? Sí, en serio, güey. Sorry, es que estoy acá con mensajes. Entonces, sí, cuando estás sirviendo la mezcla, ¿verdad? Pues está casi clara como de él. No está negra, pero fíjense lo que nos van a enseñar. A ver si es cierto.
No volteado, mira, dámelo para que te des cuenta, venimos de diferentes colores. También está uno Jeremías, ¿no? Para que entiendas sobre sí nuestros colores. Tenemos diferentes colores. Diferentes colores.
Hermano, ¿saben qué canción estaba pensando cuando decía eso? Esa de colores. ¿Te la sabes, Fernando? ¿Te la sabes? Bola de tortas, güey. Ahí te va, mira, ahí te va, para que veas, las tortas que van a usar y luego la foto que ponen, para que vean.
Y ojalá nos sigas. Síguenos para que vayas con tus dudas y vayas deshaciendo esas dudas. Mira.
El libro de Oseas, capítulo 7, versículo 8. Efraín
es el reino norte. Las tribus del reino norte. Está el reino sur y el reino norte. Nosotros, Efraín es la cabeza del reino norte. ¿Le?
se ha mezclado con los demás pueblos.
Se ha mezclado con los demás pueblos.
Efraín fue torta no volteada.
Cuando pones
all right, una torta no volteada. Vamos a ver la torta y cómo la ven.
Una torta en un comal, un pan en un comal. Cuando pones un pan en un comal, está diciendo, y no lo volteas, está comparando que su gente, las 12 tribus de Israel, es como un pan en el comal que no.
Ya ven, hermanos, que es como un pan, porque nosotros no sabemos qué es un pan o un comal, tiene que explicar muy bien qué es un pan o un comal, ¿ok? Nos está ayudando, gracias a Dios. Vamos adelante.
No lo volteas. ¿Qué pasa cuando un pan pone uno como estos? Un pan en un comal. No lo volteas. Lo dejas que se queme. Es lo que tenemos. Léelo.
Hey, ya ves, miran cómo se insultan. Le dijo Lelo,
O sea, capítulo 7, versículo 8. Efraín se ha mezclado con los demás pueblos.
¿Se fijan? Lee.
Efraín fue torta no volteada.
Ok, entonces, mira, aquí voy a explicar. Bueno, primero deja enseñarles, Vamos a aprender cómo hacer pancakes.
All Recipes member Sharon Holt submitted this recipe for easy pancakes, and she commented, "This recipe doesn't require much thought early in the morning, and it tastes great. We love that, and from start to the plate, just 15 minutes." In a large bowl, mix a cup of all-purpose flour, with 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of baking powder,
So far, sugar is white, baking powder is white. Let's go.
and a teaspoon of salt. One beaten egg.
Hey, that looks like black batter, huh?
Now let's heat a griddle or frying pan over medium-high heat.
Okay, now let's hopefully they watch this class, fam. That's what I'm doing, is because apparently they don't know the culinary process of cooking a pancake or how it actually comes out of the mix. ¿Sí me entienden, hermanos? Ahí les va la cazuela. A ver si la mezcla es blanca o negra.
And lightly oil it. Pour or scoop the batter onto the griddle
Wait,
using
what?
approximately a quarter
A ver, ¿qué color es ese?
cup of batter for each pancake. And small bubbles have formed in the center.
Boom. ¿Ya vieron, hermanos? So, entonces, la mezcla del pancake no es oscura. ¿Ok? Es clara. So, entonces, ¿qué crees que quiere decir lo que está diciendo ese versículo?
Oscuro y claro. El pueblo de Israel, vas a encontrar personas claras, miren, y oscuras, y
So,
entre medio.
La letra A describe a Judá, Benjamín y Leví, que viene siendo el reino del sur. La letra B describe a los otros tribus que se vinieron de este lado del mundo. Y
¿Ya ven, hermanos? So, la letra A dice que es el tal negro, y la letra B son nosotros, nos mezclamos con los fregados güeros, los you know, the lowest of the bottom, the very, you know, just like how they say about them, right? Pero de esto lo curioso, que cuando haces el batter mix, no es color de es este color. So, no debía de ser la este B en A y la A en B, porque si la mezcla es clara, se convierte en lo negro cuando volteas la torta. So, entonces quiere decir, si yo estoy cocinando pancakes y pongo la mezcla y no la volteo, es porque un lado mío se quemó. Pero sigo siendo yo quien? The batter, which is not black. Now, I know y entiendo, yo sé, hermanos, yo sé que tienen ganas de ser negros. Yo es lo que es. O ni siquiera saben lo que están enseñando. Porque una de las dos. De hacen, ¿verdad? O sea, ¿de qué color es la harina, güey? ¿Sí me entiendes? Pues, ¿qué está pasando? Yo nunca he visto una harina negra. O solo que no, esa es azúcar. Ahora, si hubiera dicho, Ephraim es un azúcar moreno, no volteado. Ah, pues entonces ya te la creo. Ahora, fíjense lo que dice aquí, ¿eh? Por eso yo sé que nos estaban mencionando este canal, porque yo he enseñado de que nuestro pasaje a Estados Unidos, bueno, a América, fue de Persia, India, China o Asia, hacia ¿cómo se llama? Rusia, y luego cruzamos a Alaska, porque en la escritura de 2 de Corintios, ahí dice claro, y más, lo voy a enseñar después de esto para que vean, pero hay que seguir escuchando por qué dicen. Fíjense para que vean que yo sé de que estaban hablando de nosotros, hermanos, fíjense.
y se empezaron a mezclar desde los tiempos de Asiria. Por eso muchos mexicanos se parecen árabes, muchos mexicanos se parecen chinos, muchos mexicanos se parecen hindús. Y no nomás los mexicanos, estoy hablando de los latinos. Pero en este caso, estoy hablando de los mexicanos, porque ellos primeramente son los más que alaban a los gabachos y prefieren estar de ese tipo de color. Y es lo que...
¿Ya oyeron, hermanos? Que ustedes adoran a los gabachos. Ey, ay, Dios mío. Que adoramos a los gabachos. Pues, ¿qué no es lo mismo que ellos están adorando al negro? Amigos, ¿qué estás pensando, Lelo? Si me estás tú diciendo que el Mesías es negro y que nos vamos a convertir en otro cuerpo y que el que nos va a convertir a este otro cuerpo nos va a convertir al cuerpo de él, y tú dices que ese cuerpo es negro, entonces tú estás diciendo que tú, hombre blanco, ¿verdad? Y tú, morenito, nopalero, tú estás diciendo que cada mañana estás arrepintiéndote porque quieres ser negro. Entonces, ¿qué quieres decir con el negro? ¿Qué se va a convertir en? Si él ya es negro, ¿en qué se va a convertir, güey? Y luego, ¿qué me quieres decir? ¿Que me voy a convertir en un negro volador? Y si no lo acepto, eso no es salvación, hermanos. Es lo que nos han dicho. If you don't accept that the Messiah is black, then you don't get salvation. Okay, fine, he's black. Está bien, es negro. Ya, ¿quedamos bien? Perfecto. Oh, no, pero no es suficiente. Tú tienes que convertirte a un negro también. Yeah, I know. Hey, Anthony, no, for real, bro. That's not a lie. But it's true, though some of our people do love the white man. They kiss him behind. So it's these brothers wanting to be more moreno, basically, than what God is saying. Well, here's the thing. It's not about whether they want to be or not, bro. It's even if they understand, si están entendiendo lo que están enseñando. ¿Sí me entiendes? O sea, no creo que lo están pensando. Porque yo le pregunté a uno de ellos tres, le pregunté, hey, hermano, entonces tú me quieres decir que cuando te ves en el espejo, ¿quieres ser negro? ¿Y sabes lo que me dijo? No comment. So yo lo tomo como que o no sabía responderlo o no tenía ninguna idea de lo que estaba hablando. Pretty much. So, vamos adelante, fíjense, no ha acabado, ¿eh?
Que nuestra gente no entiende. Pensamos que porque estamos afuera hablando de color, que es la importancia de la herencia de Israel, y eso no es lo que estamos edificando. Lo que estamos edificando es que ese color nos los quitaron. ¿Para qué? Para que la misma persona que puso ese comentario piense que se trata del color. Las otras naciones hicieron un buen trabajo contigo.
Ya bien, somos una bola de lolos, lelos, lalos, lelos, ¿eh? Pero, al contrario, o sea, no, de lo que yo estoy viendo, a ver si es cierto, hermanos, de lo que dicen.
They've been lying for so long and living this lie of being Jews. They talking about, hey, Kyrie, you got to come and speak to the Jewish Brooklyn leaders. Where are they? Come speak to us. The truth of this Bible was given unto you, Israelites. You got a problem with us being Israelites? Come talk to us. We're going to bring you this Bible, thus saith the Lord. This gospel is spreading. You cannot contain the truth of the Bible. There's many things that's evil going on in the land of Israel, but there's no media coverage for that. But when black people do crime in the hood, it's all on the news. It's all on the news. Who control the news? The Jewish media, like Kanye West said. Now let's see what color they are. They are black. What color are the Jews? They are black. What color are the Jews? They are black. What color are the
Who's talking about color? ¿Quién está hablando de color, hermanos? Yo no. ¿O sí? Ahí les va otro.
That Christ is black, that Christ is black, that Christ is black, that Christ is black. Moses was black, the Apostle Paul was black, and the 12 tribes of Israel are black.
A ver, ¿estoy mintiendo? Estoy mintiendo, hermanos. No estoy mintiendo, hermanos. De aquí en adelante vamos a estar hablando en español, ¿eh? Porque voy a acabar la clase en español. Obviamente casi nunca hago. Solo lo hacemos ahora. A ver, vamos al libro de Job. Job 13:16. Ahí les va. Y él mismo me será salud, porque no entrará en su presencia el hipócrita. No se trata de color. No se trata de color. No se trata de color. Pero se trata de color. No acabo de decir, no se trata de color, pero perdimos nuestro color. Hey, man, I'm telling you, fam. Hey, miren, y si quieren, los estoy invitando para que vengan conmigo, si gustan a decir algo o you know. Nomás no no, ¿cómo se dice? No vengan a regañarlos, no se crean. Están invitados, hermanos, para acabar la clase. Porque obviamente nos estamos enfocando en que porque no entrará en su presencia el hipócrita. Yo, la verdad, yo no quiero ser hipócrita. Yo estoy estudiando lo más que pueda para entender muy bien quién es mi hermano y quién no. Y luego dicen, ay, se trata de color. Si supieran todos ustedes juntitos, ni son tan morenos como mis hermanos o mis sobrinas o mis primos. ¿Ok? No se trata de color. Ustedes lo están haciendo de color. Ustedes nos están diciendo que vamos a ser negros voladores. Job 20:25 dice que la alegría de los impios es breve y el gozo del hipócrita por un momento. Sí, definitivamente sí. Por eso yo digo, hermanos, y les digo esto, vamos a tratar de acabar la clase. Primera de Corintios 15:58, ¿ok? Dice, así que, hermanos míos amados, estén firmes y constantes. Firmes y constantes viene siendo, sigue estudiando. No te dejes hasta ni llevar por mí mismo, hermano. Simplemente cuando yo te dé escrituras, toma las escrituras y léelas, estúdialas, para que lo que yo esté enseñando, bueno, en pocas palabras, enseñando, sea algo que se valide por la palabra. Creciendo en la obra del Señor siempre, diario, a todo momento. No estar captivado debajo de una tiniebla, de una bola de una tiniebla negra, en donde todo es negro, hablan negro, X negro, pero no, hermano, no se trata de negro. Claro que no. Se trata de salvación. Ok, bien. Pues qué bueno. Pero, espérame. Cuando Jesús venga, el negro, él te va a convertir en un negro. O sea, en un afroamericano. Pero no se trata de color. Oh, for God's sakes, fam. Yo no estoy negro. Así que, hermanos míos, amados, estar firmes y constantes, creciendo en la obra del Señor siempre, sabiendo que vuestro trabajo en el Señor no es vano. Entonces, yo prefiero servir al Señor. Y ¿sabes qué? Si estoy en error, pues a mí me va a castigar. Y así debe de ser. Sin miedo. Sin falta de, how you say partiality? Yo creo que sí, a uno, no estoy diciendo que ninguno, hermano, no digo que ninguno, claro que no. Obviamente nos hemos mezclado. Yo cuando estaba joven, yo anduve con unas morenas. Mi mamá y mi papá, pues no se molestaban, pero obviamente me acostumbré mucho a hablar español y pues la buena onda del, tú sabes cómo somos. Y no se puede encontrar eso en otras nacionalidades, hermano. Yo sé que hay hombres que se han mezclado con ellos. Y hay hijos que salieron de ahí, por eso salen modernos. Pero que nosotros seamos negros, así como afroamericanos, no. Abraham nunca estuvo en África. Por eso ellos dicen hijas de Sara y luego hijos de Jacob. A ver, ¿por qué no dicen hijos de Abraham? Porque Jacob fue a Canaán. Abraham no. Para que ellos puedan usar un poco de la doctrina, pues obviamente quieren estar más cercas a África. Porque si empiezas a decirles, a ver, ¿qué onda con Abraham? Abraham está en las áreas de los árabes. Takes them way away from Africa. Por eso yo les digo, así que hermanos míos amados, estad firmes y constantes, creciendo en la obra del Señor siempre, sabiendo que vuestro trabajo en el Señor no es vano. Y nada de esto es vano, señores. O hermanas también, si están escuchando. Nada de esto es vano. Porque obviamente cualquier paso que tú estés, el camino que te ha llevado el más altísimo, hemos llegado a este punto. Y ahorita en este año pasado, mucho ha salido sobre información en aspectos de que quién esclavizó a nuestra gente. Ahora sabemos que no nomás fue el güero. Nosotros no estamos hablando de color tampoco, Lelo. Estamos viendo que la gente que vino de Europa fueron güeros y negros. Y los güeros y negros tuvieron esclavos. ¿Quiénes fueran esos esclavos? ¿O eso no les interesa a ustedes? Porque dices que no se trata de color, pero sí duro al güero blanco que dice que él nos esclavizó. Oh, es que no se trata de color, es que ellos nos esclavizaron. Ok, léelo, pues también el negro nos esclavizó. ¿Nunca has leído el libro de Maya Conquistador? The Old Dominion, Africa's Gift to America, the golden age of the Moors. I mean, material y material y material. Y fíjate, otra cosa, hermanos, como le estoy haciendo la clase en español, no lo puedo leer en inglés. Pero ese Nate the Snake, cada martes sacaba un libro en donde decía que los judíos allá en Europa eran negros. Ok, yo de Lelo creyéndolo. Ok, pues eso usted sabe, señor. Entonces sí, yo soy el Isacar, a mero abajo. Ok, como menso. Pero después que salí de la escuela de ahí, hermanos, encontré ese libro y no me lo van a creer. Que en ese libro, en la página anterior, no 5 páginas, en la página anterior dice que se andaban mezclando por muchos años. A ver si lo pueden encontrar. Que se andaban mezclando por muchos años y que nunca se mezclaron con los indios de aquí, nosotros. Here it goes right here. Watch, I'll show you. This is the bilingual channel. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it. A treatise or physical geography. Okay. Nate the Snake Roberts loves to bring this book out, fam. He loves to bring this book out. And you guys can, hey, listen, hold me to it. See if I'm lying. He would bring this book out all the time. Okay. And what he does is that he reads the page after. Look, he reads this page. This one. All right. This one says, now this separate race, all descended from brown ancestors for Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, must have been as dark as Mar Yahanan, if not darker, exhibit every shade of colors from black Jews of Malamar, of whom we search, yada. Page 297, okay? But right before, page 296 says, the rapidity which color changes is seen in English colonies of North America. It is not 250 years since the first colonists, meaning the ones that pillaged, raped, and robbed our people, arrived from Britain, and much shorter time since the ancestors of most of the present New Englanders crossed the ocean. And yet they have lost the clear complexion of their kindred beyond the water and acquired much of the hue of the southern French and northern Spaniard, so that if assemblage of each nation were placed side by side, there could be no difficulty whatsoever in distinguishing them by their complexion alone. With respect to intermixture with the Indians, we know as a matter of fact that it never took place. That's the page before. Why does Nate the Snake only read this? What is he hiding? Maya Conquistadors. Look at this. It should not be page 169. It should not be the black clothed padres. They really take money. They really ask for a great deal of money. They drive us mad over money. Therefore, these words we say to you, they are not lies, for this is really the truth. Are you saying they're lying, Hedekiel, Jehu, and the other dude teaching? No, for we will now prove. For there were many black padres, 21, that came with the Spaniards, and not one of them knew our language here. Only one of them did, but the padre who did not teach. For at the time there were no elders, really just boys, and we know what y'all did to our boys. Yeah, you sold them for halats. Joel 3:1 and Thor. You can see that, fam. They traded in other kahab. Moreover, they wished to say little. The black padres, those black ones, they hated us. Proof after proof after proof after black conquistadors. Maya literature. And look, it even shows here that we went through these parts because we migrated that section. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna touch on it after, as soon as I'm done with this. You guys can see.
Or you
All of this, black Indians. Look at this. Maroons, Africans, and us. What the hell? Some Maroons, this is for black Indians. You guys can read the book. Black Indians literally destroys their doctrine, fam. Si ustedes leen estos libros, van a ver claramente que mira, Give to America. Fíjense para que vean, ¿eh? Ahí les va. Ahí les va. Esta página se me hace que es 39 o 33, pero el libro es este, ¿eh? Africa's Gift to America. Ahí les va. Some strong documentary proof that the first Africans in America were not slaves, and that chattel slavery of them did not start until 1659 or 1682 is given by competent researchers. All right, you guys can see the names. Russell, in his chapter Origin of the Free Negro Class, calls the belief that the first Negroes were slaves a popular error maintained and supported by a large number of writers. The evidence clearly points to the customary indenture for Virginia. Archive shows that throughout the second quarter of the 17th century, Negroes were being released at the end of the period of indenture. Virginia, the Old Dominion. I got that book. Let me see. Es un momentito, ¿eh? Virginia, the Old Dominion. Mira, ven, ¿eh? Otro libro. Free Negro in Virginia. Just to kind of like go real quick. Page 24. Were any or all of these Negroes permitted to realize the freedom to which servants were entitled under the laws and customs of servitude? In the records of the county courts dating from 1632 and 1661, Negroes are designated as servants, Negro servants, or simply as Negroes, but never in the record which had been examined, they were termed as slaves. Get the hell out of here, man. It's not about color with us. It's about truth. You're saying that they're us. Que nosotros sufrimos como ellos, o que, ay, pobrecitos negritos, sufrieron tanto. ¿A poco? ¿Y nosotros qué, Lelo? ¿O no te importa? Ahí les va a ir para que vean.
Meternos con los líderes espirituales de la comunidad para traer resultados. Meternos con los líderes espirituales de la comunidad para traer resultado positivo a nuestra gente.
Pues sencillamente nosotros creemos conforme a las escrituras que recibiremos el Espíritu Santo.
Jesucristo es negro.
Santo,
Yo tengo que decir que Cristo es negro.
Claro que sí.
¿Para eso?
Sí.
¿O está mal que yo diga que a mí no importa el color que sea?
El aspecto del que estaba sentado era fisonomía, el aspecto era semejante a piedra de jaspe. Puso una piedra de jaspe. Muy café. Muy café.
Y eso es mentira. El jaspe no es muy café. No es café, es rojo, como tinto. A ver, deja ver, Chilo. Deja ver, hermano. No creas que unos fueron para África después de 70 AD. Las 4 esquinas incluye África, pues, la profecía de 70 AD, ¿en dónde la encuentras, hermano? Para explicártela bien. Porque One West, yo sé cómo yo estuve 4 años con ellos y estuve estudiando profundamente lo que ellos están estudiando. So, si estás diciendo de que 70 AD es Deuteronomy 28, pues entonces hay un gran error en eso. Porque mira, una cosa también, no nomás fueron a África, ¿sí me entiendes? Porque si lees el Hechos 2, ahí dice Hechos 2 y 5, dice claramente que hicieron. Fíjate, ¿eh? Hechos 2:5 dice, moraban entonces en Jerusalén judíos, varones religiosos de todas las naciones debajo del cielo. Y ahí ves muy claramente que muchas naciones estaban debajo del cielo, ¿verdad? Y de ellos vinieron de muchas naciones, y una de esas naciones son los romanos extranjeros, Hechos 2:10. Pero si dices que, bueno, si ellos nos dicen que Deuteronomio, let me close this up. Que Deuteronomio 28, 49 dice, Jehová traerá sobre ti gente lejos del cabo de la tierra que vuela como águila, gente cuya lengua no entiendes, no entiendas. Si esto se trata de 70 AD, no sé cómo, si hablaban todos los lenguajes los judíos. Sí, obviamente ves Hechos 2 y 5, hablaban, pues, Mesopotamia, Asia, África, Rome, Greece. Y luego dice ahí de que gente de lejos, pero si los romanos ya estaban en control de Jerusalén. Y luego dice que acabo tierra de otro lugar, pues ahí están luego, son vecinos. Gente cuya lengua no entiendas, pero pues se entienden. Es más, hasta Pablo hablaba latín. Entonces, One West enseña eso, dándonos a entender que, ahora, pues otra cosa también, si estás tú en la mentalidad de que son nuestros hermanos ellos, pues, eso es obviamente lo que tú piensas, hermano, porque pues yo hemos hecho suficiente investigación para comparar y la verdad no se compara a lo que hemos pasado. No sé si sabes, pero por más de 500 años no nos permitieron tener una Biblia en México. Solamente en México, ¿eh? Y ellos siempre la tenían. Te voy a enseñar otra, ¿eh? Para que veas. Let me see. Hold up. Slave, I think. Mira, ¿eh? ¿Ves esto? No se trata de color, hermano. Fíjate, negro. Estos afroamericanos tenían esclavos. Florida, Georgia, Colombia, Distrito de Colombia, Delaware, Connecticut, territorio de Arkansas, Alabama. Todos estos son negros. In the Southwest, almost all the Negro slaveholders were. Moreover, we find some of them competing with the large planters and numbers of slaves they own. Most of such Negro proprietors lived in Louisiana, South Carolina, Maryland, and Virginia, as did the majority of all the slave owners. There are, moreover, a few instances of confusion, absentee ownership of Negro ownership. A free Negro had a charge of a plantation, but did not own slaves himself, and the enumerators returned him to the owner. You see that? Watch this. I'll go up. Practically all these Negro slaveholders were in the South. Slavery, however, at that time had not been exterminated altogether in North, and even there, the Negro was following in the footsteps of the white man, as this report shows. Having an economic interest in common with the white slave holders, the Negro owners of slave often enjoyed the social standings. It was not exceptional for them to attend the same church to educate. It was not exceptional for them to attend the same church, to educate their children in the same private schools, or to frequent the same places of amusement. Under such circumstances, miscegenation easily followed, while those taking the census of 1830 did not generally record such facts. In this particular county appeared some among the slaveholders, free Negroes designated as Jacob of Reed and white wife, and Safe of Matthew and white wife. Others reported the white wife were not slaveholders. It's not about color. They own slaves. Entonces, si ellos dicen, no se trata de color, se trata de las maldiciones, ellos sufrieron como nosotros, Pero ellos tenían esclavos como los güeros. A ver.
O sea, a ver, que alguien me explique.
Por eso yo digo, hermanos, por eso yo digo, si no saben lo que están enseñando, mejor cállense los digo. El hipócrita, Proverbios 11:9 dice, el hipócrita con la boca daña a su prójimo, mas los justos son liberados con la sabiduría. Obviamente entendemos nosotros de que ellos no, por la mayor parte, son nuestra gente. Porque el transatlantic slave trade no les pasó a ellos. Y los que sí habían traído de África, muchos fueron directamente traídos a esta dirección y otros, la mayoría, se fueron a Brasil. A ver, ¿por qué ellos no son los disque judíos, Benjamín y Levi? Porque no les conviene, hermanos. Aparte de eso, yo no voy a estar alegando de que color o que Jesús es negro, blanco. Simplemente estoy enseñando lo que ellos enseñan en aspectos de Apocalipsis 1:14, 1 Corintios 15:52, Filipenses 3:21. A mí no importa eso. Yo me enfoco en la realidad. Nosotros no esclavizamos a nadie. Ellos sí esclavizaron a nuestra gente. Partes Sequatis Ventrum era una ley de 1662 que era para simplemente atacar a nuestras hermanas. Yo tengo un libro aquí que se llama, nomás se lo voy a leer, That the blood stay pure. ¿Ok? Dice aquí en una de las notas. Let me see, ¿dónde estás? Desde 69. Un momentito, dejen buscarlo. Ahí les va. Página 67 dice, the year 1619 had been earmarked by the earliest date of arrival for Negroes to the early English colony. Yet they accompanied Spanish North American expeditions almost a century before, black conquistadors, before the English arrived in Virginia. There's also evidence that that they cohabited with the Aborigines in the early 17th century. In 1603, 7 Negroes escaped from St. Augustine, with some maintaining freedom and marrying Indian women. Franciscans found Negroes and Indians cohabiting together in Florida and repeatedly admonished the Aborigines that it was an unclean thing to keep Negro mistresses. The mistresses were not the men, were the women. So they called these Indian women Negroes. And they were told not to mix with them. Hermanos, tenemos que ser muy claros con lo que estamos aprendiendo y lo que estamos enseñando. Y cómo aprender. Porque no nomás se trata de estar leyendo en cualquier tontería que te den. Pero una vez más, el hipócrita con la boca daña a su prójimo. ¿Sabes cómo? You're out the spirit. You don't have the laws in you. You don't have Christ in you. Your precepts suck. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Tú, hipócrita, has dañado a tu prójimo. Porque estás mintiendo. Y ni siquiera sabes lo que estás enseñando. Porque yo sé que ustedes no están pensando de que van a ser negros. O solamente que sí. Ay, la verdad ni sé, hermanos. Ok, pero pues ¿saben qué? Dejen nomás leerles esto y ya con eso acabamos. Porque pues, ya está tarde. Ok, vamos a 1 Samuel 10. Y eso lo acabo. Ahí les va, ¿eh? Dice, 1 Samuel 10:6 dice, y el Espíritu de Jehová te arrebatará y profetizarás con ellos y serás mudado en otro hombre. Okay? So, fam, I don't know if y'all want to come up. I don't know if you're listening, Marcus. If you want to come up, bro, you're more than welcome to. Or anybody want to say what's up. You guys are welcome to it. If not, I'm gonna shut it down. You guys can come up, man. I ain't trying to debate. I don't do debates in this channel. Right? I do have a server. If you guys want to talk about stuff on a private level, I can do that. But we don't do debates here. I'm not a show. Anyhow, Fernando, Kyle, ¿o estás enfermo todavía, hermano? Marcus, no te dé miedo. Bien. Vladimir, if you're listening, bro, you probably stop. Come on, guys. I don't bite. Yeah, I'll let you guys come on. I'm going to play some music. All right? I'll be back.
Studio of the own gangster sound. Marina Komova, it's a champion general flow. Listen, my reggae music is slower. Climb the tower, feel the warrior eternal power. Marina Komova, it's a champion general flow. Listen, my reggae music is slower. Climb the tower, feel the warrior eternal power. Escucha Dios si aún estás por este mundo. Voy a robarte tan solo 3 segundos. Quiero mandar tu mensaje muy profundo y pedirte disculpas por si me confundo. Soy un humano más que vaga en estos páramos, que se pregunta qué pasa si nos amáramos. Pero la guerra nos separa, así que páranos y únenos de nuevo, por favor, como quisiéramos. Ve al humano maltratar a su mujer, divisa al pueblo roto por su falta de poder. Sigo viendo al niño muriendo sin comer y al rico atragantarse tan solo por placer. Quedamos pocos mensajeros del honor, fieles servidores del humano con valor, nobles narradores de palabra con amor. Solo faltas tú para guiar nuestro interior. It's a champion general flow. Listen, my reggae music is slower. Climb the tower, feel the warrior eternal power. Marina Komova. It's a champion general flow. Listen, my reggae music is slower. Climb the tower, feel the warrior eternal power. Sé que no es fácil nadar en estas aguas, ni mantener el rumbo en este sin razón. Sé que me quejo si camino en la fragua. Este es mi deber cuando recibí mi don. Podría hablar sobre coches y dinero, pero no quiero, por eso soy la voz del guero. Prefiero mantener mi arte mensajero, luchar junto al humilde para destruir el clero. Unos tienen tanto y otros quieren tan poco. Esta melodía me está volviendo loco. Pido a Kion que limpie.
Hey, fam, I'm going to let y'all know, man. You guys can come on Discord. I can fit a few people. We can over here chat it up, man. Get into private conversation if you guys have more questions. And again, I don't want to do this channel with, like debating and all of that, man. I'm not interested in all that, clout chasing, bro. If y'all want to build, we can build. Okay. Cause I got other stuff to show y'all and it gets real crazy in here. Cause, white tea don't like me. Apparently they don't like truth, and apparently other people don't either. Anyways. All right. So I'll see you in a bit. See real quick. MC. Give me a second, fam. Boom.
Que es la
Alrighty. Unless you want to come up here. Anyhow. All right. Well, I'll see you guys over here, man.
It's a champion general flower. Listen, my reggae music is lower. Yeah, man, real bomba clack and I set the volume 8. This is the music from the my niggas. Yeah, man. Oh, ribby dim, ribby da. Hey, hey. La 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 la. Human attribute from black or red. Hey, hey, hey. Broken microphone, mystic lover sound, a dream of soul. Will my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Broken microphone, mystic lover sound, a dream of soul. Will my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Por soñar soñé que todo cambiaría, por pensar pensé, luchar a sangre fría sin perder la fe, viviendo el día a día, más con sentimiento que marcó mi sinfonía. Darle pan al que no puede comer, darle bendición al que sepa renacer. 3000 errores solemos cometer, pero solo un gran hombre lo sabrá reconocer. Y me di cuenta de tantas cosas, algunas crudas, otras bastante hermosas. Solo más sabios, personas poderosas, no aquellos bastardos que destrozan nuestras prosas. Es la perdición, mala situación de manchar tu corazón por tu mala acción. Dame una razón para darte mi perdón. Siento que tu alma se consume como el humo de este blon. Derramo poesía, arte mensajero que reclamo cada día. Pretendo ser sincero, más comparto mi alegría con todo caballero que mantenga la presión cuando andamos bajo cero. Sentimientos perdidos con calma, malos actos mancharon tu alma. No pide perdón quien dispara el arma, no sabe que un ladrón se bate con el karma. Broken microphone, mystic love sound, the dream of soul. Real my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Broken microphone, mystic love sound, the dream of soul. Real my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Why not can you respect from Volumen A? My niggas on Volumen A, this is Key on the studio respect. Alright. Bad boy kills, criminal of soul or rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation. Below the time like this, bad boy kills, criminal of soul or rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation. Below the time like this, bad boy kills, criminal of soul or rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation. Oh. La 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 la. When I can just smoking from the studio of the on. And when I can just your nigga on the floor. When I live a sound. Oh them. Oh